Welcome back to another Explainer. Look, today we're diving headfirst into the very heart of ancient mysticism to explore symbols that have completely captivated human imagination for millennia. We're going to unravel the profound structural and spiritual mysteries of Hindu theology, specifically looking at those enigmatic forms known as Shivalingas and the blazing pillars of light called Jyotirlingas. This is a story about raw cosmic energy, absolutely unbreakable faith, and honestly, the very nature of existence itself.
Okay, so picture this for a second. Try to imagine a daily ritual performed way before the sun even thinks about rising that has continued unbroken for literally 2,000 years. Now, what if I told you that the central, most important element of this incredibly sacred ritual is actual human cremation ash? It sounds intense, right? Maybe even a little shocking at first glance. But as you'll see, it holds one of the deepest, most powerful philosophical truths in human history.
There's this mind-bending ancient quote. The Lord of Death is worshipped with the ash of the dead. And the crazy part? This isn't just poetry. It's a literal, everyday reality. At the Mahakaleshwar Temple in Ujjain, India, they perform a pre-dawn ceremony called the Bhasma Arati. It's basically a visceral, cosmic reality check where the deity is adorned in the ultimate truth of our own mortality.
Section 1. Worship with cremation ash.
Now put yourself right in that underground sanctum of the temple, the Garbhagriha. It's 4 a.m. It's dark, mostly lit just by the flicker of oil lamps. The air is heavy with chanting and the very distinct scent of Masan Bhasma, ash brought fresh from the very first cremation of the morning. And when the priests smear this ash onto the dark stone of the Shivalinga, it turns this stark, ghostly gray. They are worshipping Lord Shiva in his form as Mahakala, the Lord of Time, and Mrityunjaya, the conqueror of death. It's a breathtaking reminder that the divine doesn't fear death, it wears it.
Section 2. Lingas and flames of light.
So to truly grasp Mahakaleshwar, we gotta understand the Shiva Linga itself first. Basically, a Shiva Linga is a smooth cylindrical stone set inside a circular base, but it is so much more than a piece of rock. In ancient Sanskrit, the word linga translates to mark or sign. It's what we call an aniconic symbol, meaning it doesn't try to look like a human face or body. It's literally the form of the formless. Think of it as a cosmic pillar, representing the exact point of transition between the invisible, infinite reality of the universe and the physical manifest world we actually live in. Now, the distinction between a standard Shivalinga and a Jyotirlinga, that is absolutely crucial. You've probably seen regular Shivalingas. They are universal. You can find them in massive, sprawling temples or just tiny roadside shrines. They make spiritual access super democratic. But a Jyotirlinga, that word translates to a linga of light. According to scripture, there are exactly 12 of these incredibly specific sacred sites across India. These aren't just symbols. They are believed to be the exact geographic coordinates where the infinite, formless divine violently broke into our finite world as an endless pillar of fire.
Section 3. The Legend of Mahakaleshwar. Every Jyotirlinga comes with a spectacular origin myth, and Mahakaleshwar's is just epic. So, imagine the ancient city of Ujjain is under attack by this terrifying demon named Dushanan. Everything looks completely hopeless. But out in the fields, a simple cowherd boy named Shrikar hears about the attack and just runs to the temple. He starts praying with absolute raw devotion. An old priest named Vriddhi joins him, and their pure, combined faith, it acts like a cosmic distress beacon. The earth literally shakes, the stone linga splits wide open, and boom, Shiva emerges as Mahakala, this colossal, dark fire of cosmic fury. In a single pulse of divine will, he just instantly obliterates the demon army to protect his devotees.
And here's a crazy architectural detail about Mahakaleshwar that completely sets it apart from the rest. It is the only Jyotirlinga that faces south. Why does that matter? Well, in Hindu tradition, south is the direction of Yama, the god of death. So by facing south, Mahakala is deliberately staring down death itself. It's basically a massive structural flex, a declaration of absolute sovereignty over time and mortality.
Section 4. A history of survival.
When you track this temple's history across the centuries, it's a masterclass in incredible resilience. Back in the 4th to 6th centuries, during the Gupta era, it was a totally thriving center of knowledge. Then came absolute devastation in 1234 AD, when the temple was brutally destroyed and plundered by invading forces. For centuries, it just lay in ruins. But that flame of devotion never fully died out. In 1736, it was reborn,
rebuilt by the Maratha general Ranoji Shinde. And it's still evolving today, with the massive Mahakal Lok corridor being inaugurated in 2022. It just goes to show this ancient site is as alive and relevant today as it ever was.
Section 5, where science meets the sacred.
Now this is where it gets super interesting. Modern minds are actually drawing these fascinating parallels between these ancient abstract forms and modern science. Check this out. The upright pillar, representing Shiva, is frequently compared to the nucleus or proton of an atom. The circular base, which represents the feminine energy of Shakti, perfectly aligns with the electron or a surrounding energy field. Even the overall shape of the linga, an ellipsoid, is nature's most perfect geometric form, mimicking the shape of a cosmic egg or even the theoretical shape of certain energy fields in astrophysics.
And speaking of ancient genius, have you ever heard of a Rasalinga? It is a linga made entirely of solid mercury. But wait, mercury is a liquid at room temperature, right? Well, ancient Indian alchemy known as Rasa Shastra detailed exact ways to solidify it. Modern researchers recently got to test some of these ancient relics, and they found their density is about 6 grams per cubic centimeter. Since pure mercury sits at 13.5, this proves these objects aren't just frozen pure mercury, but highly advanced metallic algemiums. It's just a brilliant example of ancient spiritual alchemy perfectly lining up with modern material science.
Section 6, embracing the god of death.
So, what do we actually take away from all this? The deepest teachings we can extract from Mahakaleshwar and the Bhasma Arti are pretty profound. First, death is an absolute truth. It isn't a failure, and it really isn't something to be feared. Second, just like we saw with the cowherd boy Shukkar, divine protection responds to pure, raw sincerity, not your status or how much money you have. And third, while our physical bodies are strictly temporary, our spiritual essence, that is eternal.
Everything burns. Everything becomes ash. Nothing that is made of matter escapes this. That's a heavy thought, right? But when a devotee accepts that ash on their forehead during that pre-dawn ritual, they aren't engaging in something morbid. They are accepting a massive cosmic truth. They're basically owning up to their own fleeting, mortal spot in the universe.
And honestly, that leaves us with one pretty wild final thought to ponder. If the god of time, the ultimate, infinite reality, wears the ashes of the dead, how does that change the way you view your own life? How does it shift the way we choose to spend our very limited, incredibly precious time today? Something to chew on for sure. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this explainer today. I really hope it sparked your curiosity to dive even deeper.